If your password is under 10 characters, there is a very real chance it can be cracked in seconds. Not minutes, not hours, seconds. And if you think adding an exclamation mark or replacing a with at makes it secure, you are exactly the type of user attackers are counting on. Before we go further, subscribe now. This channel is built to give you direct, practical cybersecurity knowledge that protects your accounts, your data, and your identity. No fluff, just what you need to know to stay secure. Now let's break this down clearly. Most people believe their password is strong because it looks complicated. Maybe it has uppercase letters. Maybe it includes numbers. Maybe there's a symbol at the end. But attackers don't guess passwords the way humans do. They use machines. And those machines don't get tired. They don't hesitate. They don't think your password is clever. They calculate. Let's start with brute force attacks. A brute force attack is exactly what it sounds like. A computer systematically tries every possible combination of characters until it finds the correct one. Years ago, this was slow. Today, it's incredibly fast. Modern graphics processing units, GPUs, can test billions of password combinations per second. That means short passwords, even ones that look complex, fall quickly. An 8-character password made up of letters and numbers might feel secure to you. To a modern cracking system, it is a small search space. Now let's talk about dictionary attacks. A dictionary attack is even more efficient. Instead of trying every possible combination, attackers start with massive lists of real passwords. Millions, sometimes billions of them. These lists come from past data breaches. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people reuse patterns. Common examples: password 123 summer 2024 welcome one company name. John 1985 attackers know this. They don't start from scratch. They start from leaked databases filled with real-world passwords. Then they modify them automatically. Add a number. Replace letters with symbols. Capitalize the first character. Add an exclamation mark. These variations are built into cracking tools. So when you think you've created something clever like P at SSW0RD, the cracking tool has already tested that variation within seconds. This is why complexity alone is not enough. Most password advice for years focused on complexity rules. One uppercase letter, one lowercase letter, one number, one special character. But here's the problem. When everyone follows the same rules, attackers adjust their tools accordingly. If the system requires one symbol, the cracking software prioritizes combinations with one symbol. If people commonly put numbers at the end, attackers test that pattern first. Predictable complexity becomes weak complexity. Now let's address the real factor that determines password strength: length. Length increases the total number of possible combinations exponentially. This is called entropy. An 8-character password has dramatically fewer possible combinations than a 14-character password. And this difference is not small. It is massive. For example, an 8-character password using mixed characters can be cracked relatively quickly with modern hardware. A 14 to 16-character password? That can take years, even with powerful systems, assuming it's truly random or unique. Length increases the workload for attackers beyond practicality. And attackers don't want difficulty. They want easy wins. If cracking your password takes too long, they move on. That is how you protect yourself. Not by being uncrackable, but by being not worth the effort. Now here's where most people go wrong. They think, I'll just make my password more complicated. So they create something like G7 KP2 #X. It looks secure. It's random. It has symbols. But it's only 8 characters long. And short passwords, no matter how messy, still have limited entropy. Instead of focusing on complexity first, you should focus on length first. This brings us to the passphrase strategy. A passphrase is a long sequence of random, unrelated words. For example, Coffee River Train Yellow. That's 22 characters. Even without symbols, it is significantly stronger than most short, complex passwords. Why? because length multiplies the possible combinations dramatically. And if the words are unrelated, they're very difficult to predict. Now, don't misunderstand this. A common phrase like, "I love you forever" is not secure. Attackers test common phrases, but 4 or 5 random words combined together. That becomes extremely resistant to brute force attacks. Here's the formula. Long plus unique plus unpredictable equals strong. Now, let's talk about another dangerous misconception. Many people believe, my account is too small to be targeted. That's not how modern attacks work. Most password cracking today is automated. When a data breach happens, attackers take the leaked password hashes and run them through cracking software in bulk. They are not targeting you personally. They are processing millions of passwords at once. And once cracked, those credentials are used in credential stuffing attacks. Credential stuffing is when attackers take a leaked email and password combination and automatically test it across other websites, banking, social media, cloud storage, e-commerce. If you reuse passwords, one breach becomes multiple breaches. This is why your password being just okay is not enough. Now let's get practical. Here's what you should be doing immediately. First, stop reusing passwords. Every important account should have a unique password. Second, use a password manager. If you're trying to memorize 20 long, unique passwords, you won't. You'll revert to patterns. Password managers generate and store long random passwords securely. Third, prioritize length over complexity. Aim for at least 14 to 16 characters minimum. Fourth, enable multi-factor authentication, MFA. Even if your password is compromised, MFA adds another barrier. But be careful. SMS-based MFA is better than nothing, but authenticator apps or hardware keys are stronger. If this information is changing how you think about your passwords, subscribe now. Most people don't update their security habits until after they've been breached. Don't wait for that moment. Now let's address password hashing. When websites store passwords properly, they don't store the password itself. They store a hashed version. Hashing converts your password into a string of characters using a one-way function. But here's the key issue. If your password is short or common, attackers can still reverse engineer the hash using pre-computed databases and brute force methods. That's why even encrypted passwords from breaches get cracked. The weakness is often not the hashing system. It's the original password choice. So the responsibility ultimately comes back to you. You control the input. Attackers control the machines. Your goal is to make the machine's job too expensive in time and resources. Here's the uncomfortable reality. If your password is under 10 characters, based on a word, contains predictable substitutions reused across sites, it is likely vulnerable. And you won't know until it's too late. Breaches are often silent. You don't get notified immediately. Sometimes months pass before compromised credentials are used. By then, damage is done. So here is your action plan. Today, audit your top 5 critical accounts. Change weak passwords to long passphrase or 16-plus character-generated passwords. Enable MFA. Remove password reuse. This is not optional anymore. Password cracking tools are improving faster than most users are updating their habits. The gap between attacker capability and user awareness is widening. In short, complex-looking passwords are no longer enough. Remember this clearly: complexity helps. Length protects. If you must choose one, choose length. A 16-character simple passphrase is stronger than an 8-character symbol-heavy password. That's the difference between seconds and years. And that difference is everything. If this video gave you clarity on how password cracking actually works, take action now. Subscribe for more direct cybersecurity insights. Like this video so others understand the reality of modern attacks. And share it with someone who still thinks adding exclamation point makes their password secure. Because the truth is simple. If it only takes 3 seconds, it was never secure to begin with. Stay informed. Stay protected.